You are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast.
Hello, what is going down? It is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. Welcome to the show, guys. How is everybody feeling out here in these streets? It has been an interesting week. To put it mildly, let me just say that newcomers, if you're listening to the podcast, let me welcome you to this podcast where we talk about all things nerd culture. If you're into that, video games, anime, movies, comics, things of that nature, then you're in the right place. This is where we talk about all of this shit. And I share my thoughts with you guys, how I feel about certain things and, everything else, man. Welcome to the show, guys. I'm disappointed, and I'm talking about Gamescom 2019. I guess, I'm just a dreamer. I'm a guy who thought that certain things or certain, wishes that I had for Gamescom 2019 were going to come true. And to my dismay, they have not, for whatever reason. I guess I just got my expectations a little too high. And I think that's probably the reason. I think I feel let down. I really, really do. And I don't know where to turn right now. I was looking for, release dates on a lot of different titles. One title, on mine was one that I've been bitching about for quite some time. THQ Nordic's game, Biomutant. I just knew that it was going to happen. I just knew we were going to get a release date. When they announced that they were going to be there, I just had high hopes. Do you know what these guys did? Do you know what these motherfuckers have done? They have the same build of Biomutant that they had at Gamescom 2018 at Gamescom 2019. The exact same build. No new updates, no new information. They didn't talk about the game, anything. But what's funny to me? What's funny to me is they had enough time. They had enough press to, I guess, let everybody know, the potential consumers of this game, that they have a collector's edition. Yes, and not just a collector's edition. They have another edition, which is supposed to be, if I'm not mistaken, a $400, collector's edition. In my opinion, which is not worth it, but hey, that's just my opinion. But they gave us that information. They somehow found a way to put that into the streets. But we can't get, confirmation on the date on the game. If you go to Twitter, you'll see lots and lots of people wanting to know information about this game, reaching out to Experiment 101, which is, the developers on this project, and also reaching out to THQ Nordic, and nobody is saying a thing. Now, the game is slated for 2019. When the devs were speaking at Gamescom 2018, they were letting everybody know that the summer of 2019 is when to expect this game. Well, folks, summer is almost over. September 20th or September 21st, I think that's when the summer is officially over with. Now, why would these guys put out a game like Biomutant between now and then before telling anybody about it? It's not going to happen because they're not going to put the game out before that. And we're lucky if we hear anything else about the game in 2019. And that's just my thoughts. This is how I feel about it. They've just been ignoring everybody. It's damn near flagrant the way that they're doing it because people are reaching out. They're not responding. I don't know what to say, man. I just basically, I give up on Biomutant. I give up on that game. I'm just done. I'm completely done with it. When it comes out, it will. I'm going to go ahead and say 2020, maybe first quarter. That's the date. That's around the time frame I'm looking for. It's going to get pushed back and they just don't want to admit it right now. Maybe they're coming up with the right things to say. Who knows? but it was a company who got in over their head and they got a little too thirsty. Maybe they filled the glass with sake, 2 or 3 times back to back to back. Didn't realize how quickly that sake can actually creep up on you. And before you know it, you're sitting over, or you're kneeling, I stand corrected, over a bowl of porcelain, which is a toilet, and you're puking your guts out. You might even be slightly buzzed from the endo as well. And you mix the endo with the sake. My uncle used to call that, when you mix weed and liquor, he used to call that Batman and Robin. He used to tell me, be careful if you go out, you're having a good time and all that. Don't mix the endo and the liquor. That's Batman and Robin. Don't do it. I think these guys at Experiment 101 have been doing that, or THQ Nordic has put a muzzle on these guys. But if you ask me, I think they, got a little too thirsty, got in over their head, realized it was going to be a lot more work than they figured. And now, if you don't have anything good to say, I guess just don't say anything at all. They're going by that formula because they haven't said anything. And that's kind of scary when they don't even respond with anything. So I don't know. I guess so I feel better at night. I'm just going to leave it alone and get it out of my system as a game that I won't be seeing 2019. I'm just going to keep it real with myself, and I'm going to try to keep it real with you, my listeners. If you're interested in Biomutant and you have some sort of, stake in it, then, don't hold your breath. Just keeping it real. Just don't hold your breath. I'm sorry to announce this, but it is what it is, I guess. And these things happen in the world of video games, I guess. They have politics and they have a lot of boo-boo and bullshit in this world just as much. With the recent things going on in the past, with the, Congress blaming video games and, for, these shootings that happened not too long ago. RIP to all of everybody involved in those things. Heart goes out to all of you guys and for your families. But things like that, and it's not the first time video games have been blamed for violence in America or everywhere else. And if you look at the stats tell you straight up that is completely 110% false. Okay? Completely false. I'm not even going to waste any more time talking about it because it is a bunch of boo-boo. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this Biomutant situation to bed before it starts to get on my nerves, because right now, man, it's just a game I really wanted to play, and it's just not going to happen. So that's fine. I'll just move on. There, were a few, bright spots at Gamescom. I'm going to talk about a few of them. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, maybe you guys are looking forward to some certain games, and that I'm not necessarily looking for. And I'm sure that's the case, but I'm just going to talk about some of the stuff that, I'm looking forward to. I'm just going to keep it real and get into some of that. And, not just games. I mean, there's been like announcements, some other things that I've learned. I think the term was, it's D23. I want to say, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting it wrong, but there's been some other announcements. They had some other things going on around Gamescom, and, some new TV shows coming out. One that I'm very, very interested in. Going to talk a little bit about that. And, we're going to get into it, man. All in all, though, this was a lackluster Gamescom. And to be honest with you, I think going forward, E3, Gamescom, things like that, they're going to simmer. They're not going to be what they used to be. I mean, it's just a dying breed right now. And the way that the media is going on now, and all the YouTubers and content creators and things of that nature, I mean, I see it taking a different turn. Not going to say necessarily for the worst. I just see it taking a different turn. And these events are not going to be as big as they once were. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Sony didn't even come to E3. So, I mean, I think that's the beginning of the end, in my opinion, if you ask me. I just think we're going to have more media, more different ways to, get this information, and I'm fine with that too. I mean, getting things on the fly, getting things here and there or whatever, or companies having their own, private events sometimes, even developers having their own, events and announcements and stuff like that. I can see it going there. But yeah, there's a Dragon Quest XI S demo. It's supposed to be like the creme de la creme version of the Dragon Quest game. I actually downloaded it, did not get a chance to play it yet. Been trying, but I've been, burying myself in a shitload of, shows lately. And recently a lot of different anime that I've been meaning to get to, and I've been catching up on that. And that's for another discussion. I keep jumping all over the place, guys, but I'll get to that later as well. There's going to be some anime that I'm going to get into. Well, basically what I've been watching this past week. And, I'm going to talk about a lot of these on an upcoming podcast. I'm going to get into some of these. And also, I want to talk about, just this Gamescom 2019 and what's been going down, what I think of it. Mortal Kombat, we got some announcements, we got some dates, put it like that. And if you guys are out there playing Mortal Kombat 11, more power to you guys. Love the game. Haven't had time to play it. It just seems like it's not enough time in a day for a lot of these things. And I have, a decent amount of time, or I like to think that I have a decent amount of time, and it's still not enough time to do all the things I would like to do. But Mortal Kombat has a pack. If you guys don't know, I'm sure most of you do know, especially if you're playing Mortal Kombat, you're probably aware of these packs and the dates, and maybe you're not. A lot of people are wondering where Spawn is coming because, these guys have been announced. Spawn, Joker, Sindel, and the Terminator. They've all been announced. And, these dates make me sick. They make me a little queasy. And I don't know why. I mean, I know why they do it, but I just think it's not worth them to do it like this. Okay. Terminator is coming out. He's going to be the first of the four. He's coming out in October 8th to be exact, 2019. The next character is Sindel, and they're coming out November 26th, 2019. Okay, I'm looking at these dates, man. I'm like, now Joker. Okay, you got October, you got November. Now Joker, I'm thinking, okay, December? No, Joker is January 28th. Okay, 2020. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, Spawn, March 17th, 2020. Okay, no February. So why would you're going back to back monthly with Terminator and Sindel, and then you skip a month with Joker and Spawn. It's just like you're bird feeding, the consumer nice and slow. You're just okay, we're going to wait. We're going to give you one month, and then we're going to skip a month this time. Monthly's cool. Stick to monthly. I'm down with monthly. But bi-monthly, come on, man. Why would you switch it up? If you're going to do it one way, keep it that way. I'm just saying. I just think that a lot of these companies have just gone too far with the way that they give us content now. They go in creating a game, a complete game, with the intention of chopping it up towards the end, and then in post-production, making it or turning it into DLC. If you're a designer and a game developer and your assignment is to make said outfits, the number of outfits, you're designed to make outfits for the character. Okay. You're going to make 12 outfits for this character in this game. That's what your boss tells you. I need 12 different outfits. That's what we're going for this character. Cool. So you do your work and you make those outfits. Then when everybody's wrapping up and before the game goes gold, if a lot of you guys listening don't know what going gold is basically when they figure out everything that's going to be on the disc from this point on. Once that's done, that's what's going to be on the physical disc. There's no going back. Whatever else comes after that will be patches and DLC, shit like that. So they say, okay, we're about to go gold. So before we do that, let's pull back. Let's take 6 of those outfits off the table. And let's take these and let's put 2 of them in a future DLC and another 2 and so on and so forth, and charge, $9.99 for this motherfucking pack. Where you get some different skins for maybe some weapons and you get a couple outfits. See what I'm saying? It's almost like it's just become the norm. It's just what it is, I guess. It just bothers me. And, if you take a second and step outside yourself for 1 minute and kind of look around, you'll see that, man, it's changed gradually, man, to the point where, little by little. And next thing you know, we turn around and we look at the whole picture. We're fucked. That's what I'm thinking. That's how I see it. I mean, even YouTube. Is it just me, or is YouTube now playing double fucking ads every time, damn near every other time you see a video? I know it is for me. I'm like, wait a minute, the video's over, then they hit us with another one back to back. This is going to become the norm. Before we know it, we're going to have double ads on every fucking video, every last video. And then they're going to be prompting us to do it again like they always have been. Hey, get the premium pack, get the da-da-da-da. And before you know it, if you don't want to go crazy and lose your mind, you're going to end up getting the premium so you don't have to watch any ads. I guess if it's worth it for you, cool. I mean, I do watch a lot of YouTube, I'm not going to lie. I mean, it might be worth it depending on what it is, but I mean, that's just the way it is now. Everybody's trying to get that extra out of you. It's just always what it is. I don't know. I feel some type of way about it though. And fighting games, especially now. I mean, you used to be able to get a fighting game and you get every character, you get all the bells and whistles and you're good. But now they feed you, they bird feed you fighters. I mean, it's crazy. If we don't do anything about it, it's just going to keep happening. Need to stick together. Some information for Mortal Kombat for you guys. Hope you appreciated it. If you didn't know the dates, now you have the dates. Yeah, the Dragon Quest demo, I've downloaded it. When I do get a chance to play it, I'll let you guys know. I used to play a lot of Dragon Quest games back in the day and enjoyed myself with them. So I'm sure this one won't be any different. But, game's pretty deep. Supposedly it's about 80 hours. So if I'm going to play something like this, I definitely want to make myself prepared for it and make sure there's something or nothing else out there that has my attention before I get to it. You guys know how it is. Your backlog is super, super long. And, when you get a chance, you try to get through some of them, but man, a lot of them you just don't get time to do. You'll eventually get to a lot of these, but especially right now when we go into the fall with all these games coming out, man, I mean, it's you got your games that you eventually want to play, and then you got your games that no matter what happens, you're going to make sure you play those games. You know what I mean? And that's just where we're at right now. At least with me, that's where I feel that I'm located right now. There's a lot of shit coming out, man, that I cannot wait to play, and I'm just so ready. As far as this Gamescom is concerned, I mean, I didn't see too many things, man. Matter of fact, I saw a little bit of some Battletoads, and I'm not the only one, but nobody really likes what they're seeing right now with this Battletoads game. Xbox. I'm talking about Microsoft here. It's an exclusive. And, Microsoft fans, Xbox guys, if you're listening, man, I feel so bad for you guys. I really fucking do. I just knew I was going to see something out here. I mean, they got a lot of stuff going on with Gamer Pass and all that type of stuff, but man, I don't want to hear that shit, man. That's what I would be saying if I had an Xbox. I'm tired of the same old. Okay. You're at Microsoft's press conference, and they're showing pretty much all their games. Everything they fucking showed is, AAA shit. Okay. AAA shit, multi-platform titles. Games are going to be, on Sony just as well. Okay. I'm thinking, where's some new IPs at? We're going to get some new announcements. No, it's not happening. I'm telling you that Microsoft's eye is looking towards the future. That's what they're focused on. They're not thinking about Xbox One, guys. They're not. And I guess most people figure, if you don't have an Xbox One by now, you probably won't be getting one. You'll probably wait till it gets dirt cheap and, you have the next gen consoles first. So yeah, I have nothing to say about Microsoft. There's really nothing to say. The only thing that I got out of Microsoft's press conference was the fact that they released 2 characters from Halo that are going to be available or playable characters on, the new Gears game coming out. That's it. That's their only, bright spot, on a dirty glass. That's it. I mean, that's all I saw. But hey, maybe somebody else could tell me different. I don't know. I just didn't have anything, to say about Microsoft, period, man. It's a shame. It's just a shame, man. But anyway, let's get back to, some other games that I had a chance to just graze over, look at a little bit. One of those games was Greedfall. It kind of intrigued me a little bit. So I looked into it and, They had some good spots about the game, some good points, some things that I liked about it. But then to me, it just seemed very, very generic. When I was looking at gameplay and listening to people talk about the game, they were talking about how once you leveled up your character to a certain point, it's not a lot of variety. In other words, it's not too much variety on certain classes that you choose to go with. A lot of these, upgrades, when you were upgrading your character, once you get to a certain point, they're only, stats, they're added stats. They're no new, sword animations or, magic spells or anything like that. They're just, stacking on what you already have. And what you have already, from what I've seen, is not that much. I could see somebody getting kind of tired of that and getting very, very repetitive very, very early. I'd wait. For me, that's a game that I would definitely, pick up at a much later time, when the game was like $20 or something like that. Catch it on Black Friday for something like that. One of the only good things about living in this age, with all this bullshit happening with a lot of these games, is the fact that if they don't get enough sales, they will definitely drop that price. They will drop it, and they won't hesitate to drop it, and they'll do it quick. At least I can speak that way for Xbox and Sony, not Nintendo. I think we all know Nintendo is not going to do that. Now, digital games, they have certain sales all the time, but physical, no, those cartridges, no. Good luck with that. It's going to take years for those prices to drop, but it's all good. I mean, it's Nintendo. But anyway, yeah, there's just been a lot of shit, man. Battletoads, I was a big fan of the original Battletoad games. You had the Battletoads Over Dragon games. I remember actually playing the original Battletoads games. Loved it. Fucking loved that game. And I don't know whose job it was. The graphics, I mean, trying to make it look extra cartoonish, changing up the look, of the characters, the overhaul was just, I think, a little too strong and unnecessary. These are just my opinions, guys. I mean, there might be some people out there who actually enjoy, the previews and want to play the game and all of those things. And that's cool. But through my eyes, it looked slow as well. And I'm not the only one who thought that. The gameplay, the walking, the animations were kind of slow and sluggish. It just didn't feel right. I just didn't get a good feeling. I mean, when you get a feeling about something, what it makes you do or not do. And, usually that is a pretty good judge of, what you're going to, like to do going forward with that. Your body, you can't lie to yourself. If you pick up a game that you want to like so bad, but when you get to the game, you're just not enjoying yourself, and you try to lie to yourself and you try to coach yourself up to, continuing to play it, and it just doesn't work. And then you have to look at yourself in the mirror before you go to sleep at night. And then you have to end up making some decisions. And, this is one of those cases. One of those cases, man. I hope we, get a Battletoads that one day will do it justice. Put it like that. Maybe they have some skins from future download or whatever for a later date. But, now, because I was a little hurt that they got the exclusive deal on that Battletoads game. I was like, okay, you guys got something. Okay. You finally got something, a little piece of something that we from Sony don't get to enjoy, and now looking at what I'm seeing, I'm like, well, I'm not that mad. I'm not that mad anymore. So it is what it is, guys. It happens, I guess. We get flops. So let's see what happens though when it's all said and done. I'll give it some time and see what happens. But right now, man, from where I stand, it just doesn't look good. Man, I'm looking at this list and I don't really have any fucking games to really, get into, man. I really don't. I really fucking don't, guys. All I did this fucking weekend, honestly, is watch a whole shitload of anime. And, yeah, it's pretty much what I did. And I'll get to some of those anime in a little bit later. But right now for this Gamescom stuff, man, there were a few bright spots, and I do mean few games that I was, interested in. Now there was one that just blew me a fucking way. There was one that blew me away, and I'm about to talk about that. But before I get to the rest of this, these games real quick, guys, there was some Sony and Marvel shit going on, and I know you guys heard about it. I know people have heard about the shit going on with Spider-Man and Sony and Marvel and the tug of war that's been going on with these guys, man. You know, some people saying that, oh, it's over now. They're done. The deal is over. So that universe is going to be kaput. And then some people are saying, no, well, they're apparently trying to work out a deal. There's even people out here trying to get people to sign a fucking petition, you know, so this will not happen. I mean, there's a lot of Marvel guys, a lot of Spider-Man guys who are salty as fuck right now. And rightfully so, because this is the type of shit that I'm talking about, you know, in the politics area, you know, when it's all about the dollar bill and not the customer. And they get too big of heads and they want to see whose dick is bigger and all of this shit. And the ones who end up suffering are the fans. If they take that Spider-Man away from this universe, then that's going to fuck up a lot of shit. It's going to have a ripple effect, and they fucking know it. So I'm telling you, this is something that can actually sink, or, you know, it's a sink or swim type of thing. It can definitely sink some ships if they go with the wrong decisions, and I can see it being very, very disastrous. And that's what, you know, when you're fighting over entities like that. I mean, we saw with the X-Men and what happened with them, and all of that bullshit. They finally got X-Men back. So, I mean, you get one back, then you lose another one. It's like, what's going on here? But I'm not going to even speak anymore on that until I have concrete, you know, evidence that it's over and said and done with. Either way, whether they figured out a way to work a deal out or whether or not they are going their separate ways. And, you know, I'll keep you guys posted on that. But I just thought it's ridiculous to even be talking about that. Anyway, the Disney Channel is going to be hot. Let me just say that. I am looking forward to this Disney Channel, and I wasn't always, you know, feeling that way. You know, I thought it was going to be just a channel with all the Disney movies, you know, the animated stuff on there for the most part and all of that. But then, you know, with the Marvel situation and all that, I said, okay, I still not quite ready. But then with all of the stuff that's coming out and the new announcements that they've still been, you know, delivering out here in these streets. I mean, come on, man. You got what? Fucking She-Hulk, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel. I mean, these are all shows coming, you know, and not including all the other ones that they got coming out. You know what I mean? The Winter Soldier and Falcon. And I mean, it's just so many vision in them. It's so many shows, so many things. And then, you know, I'm not a big Star Wars guy, but if you had to ask me what character I had to pick, you know, which as a favorite and who I absolutely positively fuck with in that universe, I'm going to tell you Boba Fett. That's the one motherfucker I thought was awesome. I thought he looked cool. I just thought, you know, his race of people, you know, the story about them, you know, where they come from and all that. They remind me of like Saiyans in the universe of Star Wars. You know, a Saiyan race, something like a Saiyan race, or maybe some Namex or some shit like that. A race of people who, you know, are accustomed to fighting. That was how they got down in these Star Wars streets. And they're, you know, highly gifted, you know, soldiers, you know. And they announced a show called, simply put, The Mandalorian. I'm sold. I want to know more. I mean, the still shots, the preview I saw recently, it all looks breathtaking. I saw fucking Carl Weathers. Okay. If you guys don't know who Carl Weathers is, man, Google him. You know, if you saw the Rocky movies, then you know who Carl Weathers is. Okay. If you saw the first original Predator, then you know who Carl Weathers was. But he's in this. Blew my fucking mind. Hadn't seen Carl Weathers in forever, man, since fucking shit, Happy Gilmore. And now he pops up and shows his head in the Star Wars universe. That's crazy. That's so crazy, man. But yeah, man, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for that show. I can't wait. It's supposed to be 8 episodes. It's supposed to take place somewhere around, I think, 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So I'm interested in this world. I'm interested in these characters, and I want to see where this is going to go. Also, Obi-Wan Kenobi is getting his own show. He's coming back, guys. Yes, they're going to do some sort of, you know, something about his early days. You know what I mean? And I'm ready. I was talking with some friends the other night. Shout out to my boy Dig 24/7 out there in Atlanta. We were chopping it up about, you know, what we've been watching anime wise and whatnot. And somehow we got in a conversation of the Clone Wars, which I have never seen. and I was trying to get into it. I was trying to, put it on my to watch list or whatever. And supposedly there's 6 seasons now, and the 7th season is going to be, coming, to the Disney Channel. So, supposedly Netflix had the Clone Wars at one point in time. I remember having it on my to watch list, but never getting around to it for whatever reason. Now they're just gone. I think because they're about to make that transition and, they're getting it ready and stuff. So I'm going to have the Disney Channel. That's going to be one of the first shows that I tackle. I was looking at some clips and people were using, clips as references in some of the Star Wars YouTube channels and stuff that they had. And the shit looked awesome. It looked dark and, it looked like something I would definitely watch. And it had, it had Boba Fett and all these guys in there. So, I want to see what it's about and expand my Star Wars knowledge in the universe. Yeah, it's going to be very, very exciting to be watching the Disney Channel here moving forward, guys. There's going to be so much Marvel stuff to watch, and who knows what else they're going to be putting on here. I can't wait to see what's going to be here. So, 3 different networks. I mean, I got Hulu, Netflix, and now it will be the Disney Network or Disney Plus. I think that's what they call it. Whatever. Disney Plus. Can't wait. Back to the games. There were a few bright spots. One game that kind of caught my attention was a game called Control. I don't know, man. It looks pretty good. It looks like it's got some decent lore to the game, which I'm, definitely a fan of lore in the game. And, there's a lot of Alan Wake fans out here, supposedly that's a really good game. It was a really, it's a classic or whatever. And for the Xbox, and, this is supposed to be, cut from the same cloth to a certain degree. And that's a good thing. I'm hearing good things about this game. I really am. I mean, one guy said some pretty shitty things about it, but he was, playing the game and he was only in like 4 hours in the game. And that's, that's not enough. But I'm interested in the game, with so many games coming out and no money. It's going to be hard to let some of these go, but that's why Black Friday's here. And, we come around and we get some of these, at discounted prices and whatnot. That's when you make your moves on the games that you can't get your hands on now that are coming out, very, very soon. So you can try to take advantage of some of these sales and try to hit some licks. And if you wait a little bit longer than that, then you can even, get them for cheaper. So, that's what I do. I mean, I'm going to go back and tally up on some old games, this Black Friday and see what I can come up with. Cause there's always going to be games that you had a chance or didn't have a chance to get to that you would like to play at least one day. If they're cheap enough and you're at the right place and at the right time, then, add it to your backlog like most of us gamers tend to do anyway. Yeah. So it is what it is, I guess, on that note. But it looks very good. It looks like a dope game. I've been watching lots and lots of gameplay on it, reviews and stuff. It is something I like to play, but I'm not going to be able to probably end up picking it up. Who knows? I got like 3 or 4 games on, September's list, and I don't know who's going to make the cut. I'm still kind of like, I'm at a crossroads and I don't know where to turn yet. Black Desert. Anybody know about that game? Black Desert. That was a game that I want to say, no, it's not a free play. I think it's $30. I want to say it's an MMO. And a lot of people, if I'm not mistaken, say that it's a straight grind fest. That's all it is. You end up fighting mobs all day. That's it. Occasional boss here and there. And it just, washes, rinses, and repeats. Not too much about that. It looks okay. And they also said the frame rate was straight trash, straight up garbage. And depending on where you live, it could even be worse than that. So, dealing with MMOs like that and all that. That's why I try to stay away from a lot of them because of those issues. It just comes with so many issues. And then Google Stadia has the audacity to try, to push us forward with what they have now and calling this the future. Yeah, maybe it is the future, but not this future. It's still too early for that shit. And I think the whole world is going to find out when they start buying games on it. Games that, let me add, you will not own technically. It's like buying a, fake piece of paper, a paper that can disappear on you anytime. You can't hold it. You cannot touch it. It's a fucking, long division problem, on servers in space. And it's associated with your name and information. And if something goes down and if something goes wrong with that server for whatever reason, they go belly up. Guess what? All that money that you spent for that game, it's gone. So I hope you savored it. That's my problem with it. It's going to continue to be my problem with it until they find a better way, like with Steam or some of these other game developers are doing, where they're, yes, you're downloading something, but it's actually yours to keep. You can play it offline. Once you buy it and download it, it's yours. You can back it up. You can whatever, and you still have access to it. Unless it's something like that, I don't see myself, and I definitely don't see most people spending, money on a game like that when they can just go get that same said game for, a home console and get the physical version. Or if they wanted to buy it digitally, the same thing, and they actually have it digitally. So I don't know. I'm just talking, but they were there. I didn't even watch what they had to offer because it's just a meme right now. And I'm sorry to say it. I'm just keeping it real. It's just not worth it. What they're offering. It's not. Put down sake and please walk away. Now let's get to the goodies. Let's get to the shit that I really, really enjoyed. Dragonball Z Kakarot. Okay. Every time I see that game, the more and more I see it, the more and more excited I fucking get watching this game. And I'm thinking to myself, why are they showing major boss fights? I mean, they're showing us now the Cell fight with Gohan. Okay, we got the Cell fight with Gohan now. We already saw the Raditz fight. I mean, why would they be showing this? I don't think they would be showing this if it wasn't so much more content in this game. And they specifically said that there's going to be so much content in this game. It's going to be ridiculous. So many probably hidden characters, so many things that wasn't ever seen in any other Dragon Ball game ever, even in the manga or even in the anime. They're going to just add bits and pieces and do their own things to it. And they've already given certain hints to certain things already. I mean, if you remember the filler episodes where, Goku and Piccolo are trying to go get driver's license. Okay. They're at the depot trying to get a license. There's actually a scene in this game where you actually partake in that, where you're actually driving around in a car in this game. Okay. There's a Nimbus you can actually fly in this game. You can fly yourself physically in this game. There's going to be a lot of things going on in this game. And they also stated that any character or enemy you run into, they're basically stuck at that level. So in other words, the game is as hard as you want it to be. So if you want to just go straight through the story, one event after the next, you can do that. And it's going to be challenging if you do it that way, because you're not going to level up as much, because you're not really going to hardly be doing any grinding. So you won't be leveling up as much. And when you go against these enemies, say you're about to fight, Frieza, and he's level 30. Okay. But you've done everything, besides side missions. You just did the main story modes, and somehow you made it to, 20, 22 or something like that. And you're going to fight Frieza like that. It's going to be a hard ass fight. It's going to be damn near, maybe even unfair to a certain extent, as far as the ratio with the health and all of that is concerned. Now, if you go around and you run around and do some things and level up even more and get to his level, it's going to be easier. So whatever happens, whatever you do, Frieza's not going to scale with you. So if you're level 20 and he's 30, when you hit some games, you let you level and they'll scale with you. So if you go to level 22, guess what? Frieza's going to level 32. So he's always, no matter what, he's always going to be, 2 ahead of you or whatever. But that's not like this in this game. They allow you to fucking grind your ass off and then get to a point where you can just say, fuck it. I'm going to go over the top on his ass. I'm going to go 35 and then go see him. And then, you mop his ass up, and it's nothing but a fucking digital mop job. And that's just the way you wanted to play it. So I think they're going to have all kinds of shit in this game, like different scenarios, all kind of things, man. I mean, that's what's been talked about so far. I even hope that we get to play some of the other characters. They're just telling us we won't be able to play as them. And, now I know we know how to play. We're going to be playing as Piccolo. I know we're going to be getting some play, from Gohan, because they showed the Gohan, stuff just recently. And, we're going to get some Vegeta, even though they haven't physically seen any yet, because we're going to Planet Namek and the story can't continue if we don't do that. There's so many fights that Vegeta, took place in that were, important fights. And if you took those out of the game, you're taking away a big chunk of the fucking game and the story and all of that. So that's not going to happen. I mean, if they got Gohan in there already, Team Gohan, then you know we're going to see Vegeta. So yeah, it's only a matter of time. I'm so excited. Everybody I know is excited about this game. It just looks really good. It's really crisp, and it's a different take. You know, I know it's not going to be. A lot of people say I'm not going to buy it because we know it's going to happen. Everybody knows what happened in Dragon Ball Z, but they're putting their own twist on it. They're giving us extra stories. They're giving us things that some of our favorite characters, you know, might have been doing when we weren't there, when the camera wasn't in their face or whatever. So I'm really appreciative of that. And I can't wait moving forward to see what's going to happen. The next game I want to talk about is Need for Speed Heat. Need for Speed Heat, you know, it looks pretty interesting. I mean, the customization is really, really looking good. Yeah, I'm not going to lie about that. But that's about it for me. You know, I'm not really into too many racers. You know, I haven't played a decent racer since fucking Gran Turismo back in the day. And that was way before its time. I just wanted to add that little tidbit in there. But yeah, man, I don't know. I got to see a little bit more on it. See what's happening, see how it goes. There's supposed to be a day and night cycle in this game. So you can do certain things at night that you can't do in a day and vice versa. And they're trying to, you know, cater, you know, to that and put some of that into the game. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of speed freaks out there. There's a lot of Need for Speed guys out there who will probably enjoy this game. That's why I put it on this list, because it's something not necessarily that I would enjoy, but somebody out there listening could enjoy. Just not going to be me. It's something I might pick up. I'd probably pick up for $20 for sure. You know, but you know, it's nothing on my actual radar. I just thought it looked cool, and I thought that, you know, some of you guys might be interested in this game, so I just thought I'd bring it up. Just check it out if you're interested. Death Stranding. Okay, let's go on and get it off the table. Let's go on and talk about it real quick. Death Stranding. You know, I still don't know more than I did before. I mean, we got, you know, some video on it. We got some slight gameplay, if you want to call it that. And that's pretty much all we got. I mean, there's an actual pissing mechanism in the game. There's something you can actually do in the game. And supposedly it's supposed to have some sort of effects on certain enemies or something, you know, moving forward. I have no clue, man. This is just, you know, it's a strange game. It's a very, very strange game. And, you know, right now it's just too strange for me. I can't. I have to see what the fuss is about. I have to let people play it and see people play it and see what the reviews are looking like and all that. I just can't, you know, I just don't feel comfortable. Even though it's Kojima, I feel very uncomfortable about going into a GameStop or a Walmart or whatever and putting $65 down on this game. I'm nervous because watching, you know, the gameplay that we did see, it's nothing but him walking around, carrying shit on his back, dropping it off on this location or that location, kind of running into foes, you know, out there, but kind of trying to avoid them and creep around them, and playing with that, you know, baby thing in the front that he keeps, you know. I just, you know, weapon wise, I see they had a gun, but I really didn't see too much use, you know, for it as of yet. But the suitcase, you know, he's carrying around. I'm seeing him using that, swinging it on opponents and stuff. It's really, man, I just don't know. This seems like it'd be better, like a better movie than like, you know, a game. That's just me from the outside looking in now. From what I've gathered, from everything that I've seen, that's how I feel about it. It's not a buy for me right now. It's just not. And until, you know, they can prove otherwise, the story looks like it could possibly be, you know, it could be something. The story looks very interesting, but it's definitely out there as well. So I just don't know about that one yet, guys. That's why, you know, it comes out the same day as the Star Wars game, which we didn't even get any new information on that. That's what I was, you know, hoping we'd get some more stuff on Star Wars. I didn't see anything. Maybe I need to go back and look through my information and videos, because I didn't see it. Maybe they're content with what they have right now, and that's it. And that's all. But that's the game that I was, you know, going to be buying on November 8th. And it still probably is. So I try to keep it, you know, monthly. Like, what am I going to buy this month, that month, and so on and so forth. And my November game right now is slated to be the Star Wars game. And I know it's an EA game, and I can't stand EA. I really can't. But this is a single player, third person action RPG like title. And these are the games that I play. And there's no microtransactions, and it's its own separate entity of a game. So, you know, EA is the publisher. So, you know, I just can't stand them. So I'm going to give this game a shot because they didn't develop the game. They got a good team behind the story, the writing and all of that. So I'm going to roll with them and see what happens. Haven't played a Star Wars game in a while. I think I want to play one. You know what I mean? Trying to get into that universe. Anyway, that's all I have for that game. Do I have any other games? Do I have any other games I want to talk about? Anything else I want to address? Of course I do. Of course I do. Astral Chain got some new gameplay. And this game, guys, I really, you just don't understand how bad I want to play this game. I am so happy to know that this game is right around that corner. Ooh, I can't wait. It's going to come out Friday. I'm going to do a review on this game. I'm going to go through the whole game, do my review, tell you what I feel about it. Definitely, of course, it's not going to be ready next podcast because I'd only had played it for a day or two. And, that's not enough time for me to get intimate with this game, which I plan on doing. I plan on not playing anything else, shutting everything else out and just putting all of my attention on this game. It's been a while since I've been able to do that. You know what I mean? It's been quite some time. So I'm going to do that. And the week after that is when I will definitely have my review on the podcast for you guys for this game. It's a game, I've been waiting for all year, and it's probably going to be my game of the year. That's what it's looking that way. So I'm going to get into it, and I'll definitely let you guys know. But yes, Astral Chain, man, the gameplay is dope. The customization is even more in depth than I thought it would be. I saw some new costumes. I saw some new outfits, and I'm very, very happy with what I'm seeing right now. I cannot wait to jump into this game. I'm so serious. And there's a lot of walking around. There's a lot of discovery to be had in this game as well. It's not just a top heavy, on the fighting side. It's a perfect mix from what it looks like to me. You're going to do a lot of exploration. You're going to do a lot of talking to a lot of people, doing other side missions and quests like that. And I like that about it. I like the atmosphere that it portrays, with the whole emo / cyberpunk kind of look with the neon lights and all of that. And then the stylish anime type, environments that, they present, out there in Japan. And I love all of that. I love it all. And I can't wait to lose myself in that world. I cannot fucking wait. Anyway, with that out the way, guys, there was a few other games here. These are some like indie games, some smaller games that just caught my attention. And some of these games they look awesome. And I of course, they're going to the Switch. A lot of these games are multi-platform games. They'll be on PlayStation and they'll be on the Xbox as well. So, don't trip. But, why they're special to me is because they're going to be games that I'm going to put on, the Nintendo Switch because, that's my travel piece. That when I'm going somewhere, I want it to be where, look, I got so many games. I don't have to go anywhere else. Just take the Switch and you're golden. And this is what, I'm going to be doing. And the first one that caught my eye is Windjammers 2. If you guys aren't familiar with Windjammers, it's an older game, classic game. It kind of reminds me of like, ice hockey. What's the game where you stand on one end of the fucking, of the booth and then whoever else stands on the other side and you got the hand piece. Both of you guys got this hand piece and then there's a fucking puck that floats over the top and you basically see who can score first. It's basically like that, except for it's, actually humans doing it, one on each side and, like air hockey, you're trying to get, as many points as possible and you can do certain tricks and things of that nature. It looks really good. Graphics look amazing. And I saw some gameplay on it and it's definitely a game that you could just pick up and play at any time. And I think it'll be really, really fun. It's called Windjammers 2. That's the first one on my list. The next one is a game called The Tourist. I saw a lot of gameplay on this. Graphics are kind of, box arty kind of, kind of chibi, he's a little small and, cute graphics or whatever, but very colorful, bright. They kind of pop out at you in your face. And it's an exploration kind of game. This guy's running around doing a whole bunch of different shit, man. And it looks just fun. It looks like a fun game. It's called The Tourist. It's supposed to be releasing in November. So I'm definitely adding that to my wish list or whatever. And that's one thing that pisses me off about Nintendo. Let me just add this side tangent real quick. A lot of these games that were announced, and I went and had my Switch turned on and I tried to go find them to where I could put them in my, my wish list. They didn't pop up. I'm like, why can't I find these games? Why aren't they showing up? They're saying that, they're coming out, but I guess they don't put them on the shop a lot of the time until the day of or whatever. I guess I don't know. But a lot of games I found that I could not put them on my wish list for whatever reason. Typed it in perfectly, typed it in so many different ways, and still got the same results. That's not cool. The next game on my list is another indie game, and it's called Young Souls. And I couldn't find a release date for this. I couldn't find any, release date on this game. The game looks fucking awesome though. The graphics are wonderful. It's kind of like an RPG with a modern twist to it, if you will. That's all I can really say about it. You'd have to look it up, Young Souls, Nintendo Switch, and see what you find. I mean, people are getting very, very ingenious with the way that they put together a lot of these fucking, these indie games, which some of them just have so much appeal, more so than even these AAA games out here, man. I mean, I find myself wanting to play some of these games more than those. And it just amazes me. I'm a gamer at heart, and to me, it's not necessarily what the system is. It's just if it's a great game. I mean, Hollow Knight is just so awesome. Love me some fucking Hollow Knight. And it's an indie game. And they gave so much, 5 gigs of fucking content, free content that the Team Cherry, has given us. And I'm still not anywhere close to beating that game, but it's so hard, but yet it's so fun. And I love the atmosphere, the lore, everything about that title. And it just proves that anybody that puts their mind to it, whether a big team or a small team, can make something so beautiful. It's just a wonderful thing. And that's why I always and forever will have support for my indie developers. Young Souls, check it out. The last game that caught my fucking attention is a game set actually in the world, in the universe, if you will, of River City Ransom. And the game is called River City Girls. And the game is made by WayForward and Arc System Works, 2 companies who are the creme de la creme in, the development world, if you will. The game looks fucking breathtaking. It's a 16-bit sprite graphical beat 'em up. And you play these 2, Japanese girls, running around beating up people, beating up students. It's so, I don't even have words right now. And I don't know, it just caught me off guard. I don't know what the video I saw it from, but I'm so thankful that I got a chance to see it, because I might have never found this game. It would have been buried under all the other games. You know what I mean? And I would have been sick. But I'm so glad I discovered it. And it comes out September 5th. It's a little pricey at $35 for a digital only game and an indie game. But this is one that I will definitely, pay with a smile on my face. There is a limited edition of these games where you can actually get, I think 2,500 right now that they created and made, where you can get the actual cartridge, and it comes with a replica Nintendo cartridge of that same title and some other cool stuff, man, in it. And it's like $75 for that. But if I had it, I would definitely make that move. Like I said, I was trying to find a game for September. I don't know what I want to choose. I have a list a mile long. I mean, you have the Zelda game coming out. You have this game coming out, River City Girls, this beat 'em up game, which looks fucking breathtaking. I love this style of game. And I watched the gameplay video. I can see myself playing this shit just all day, just having so much fun. Lots of boss fights, all of that comes out on the 5th. So, and there's another game, Blasphemous, a game I've had my eye on for quite some time. That also comes out in September. I don't know the exact release date on that, but it's soon. It's definitely September. And this is like a dark, Symphony of the Night, mixed with, all kinds of shit. It looks to be an epic 16-bit game. I love these retro style games with the depth that they have and the lore that they have in these games. And this is another game. I'm thinking about like just going the indie route and saying fuck AAA games, that month, because there's also the Surge 2. I mean, that's another one that I'm torn between. Like, There's Control, which is coming out this month, so I'm like, I could go a number of different ways. I really could. I think I'm gonna go with Control for, maybe Black Friday, possibly. That's my problem. I mean, September is going to be crazy. It's going to be a doozy. And I don't know what I'm going to walk away with. I really don't fucking know. But we'll see. Maybe I can rent some of these games too, and go from there. Try to see what's up. Because, Redbox, go hit a Redbox up. Boom. You all the way good. So who knows? Who knows what'll happen? Astral Chain is going to have my plate filled up. So I'm not going to have a lot to do for the time being. And then after that, I think the same day that comes out, I think Colossus and Cyclops, they drop as DLC characters for free for Ultimate Alliance 3. So that's something to look forward to later on, because I haven't played any of that as of late. So that'll be dope. Yeah, man. I mean, I just have so many things, man, going on. So many things to talk about with you guys. And moving forward, I mean, I got some anime that I've been watching. Like, I've been binging all week, man. I've been watching Tokyo Ghoul. I've been watching, I've already finished Baki Part 2. And then I've also watched, Kengen Ashura, which is a dope fucking anime on YouTube. Not on YouTube, I'm sorry. A dope anime on Netflix. You guys need to fucking check that shit out. I'm not bullshitting. Check that shit out. If you like Baki, you will fucking love this. In October, we get a lot of stuff coming out. We got My Hero Academia coming out, season 4. We got the second part to, Kengen Ashura coming out. I mean, goddamn, man. So many things, so many great things. But right now, I'm also watching High School of the Dead. That one caught me off guard. That one caught me fucking off guard. I fucking love it. And it's only one season, and I'm almost done with it. I have a few more episodes left. So I'm going to watch a lot of this stuff, man. Tokyo Ghoul, get through with that, get caught up with that. And then I'm going to come back around and tell you guys about some of this stuff, on upcoming podcasts. Next week, I'll definitely be talking about some of these. So join me definitely next podcast for that. Yeah, man, that's going to do it for this episode. And I just want to thank everybody for listening. Everybody for bearing with me. And it's just been a crazy week, and I've been babbling about a lot of different shit, and I just had to get it off my chest. It feels good to finally get it off my chest. And even though I wasn't really happy with Gamescom that much, I still found a nice couple of things to look forward to. It's always something to look forward to. Even though I didn't get any release dates on some of the games I've really been wanting to find out about, like Grand Blue Fantasy and things of that nature, it's all good. I mean, Grand Blue Fantasy, I think they said something about they're going to be making some announcements in December on that. So we're not going to get that game till 2020 either, probably the tail end of 2020. Who knows? But I still have a lot of things to keep me busy moving forward. There's still some games out there that I'm going to be having a blast to play. November, like I said, you got Star Wars. October, what is in October? Man, I have not looked at October. I need to look at October and see what's coming out. And if not in October, there's definitely some things from September that I will, be able to go and play. So like I said, there's always something out there to play. And then don't forget about the backlog. The backlog is serious. I still, so many games that I just didn't finish yet. Assassin's Creed, Odyssey, goddamn, that shit is long. That shit is long as fuck. And me personally, I love doing the side quests and everything. So I think that's part of the reason why I'm like so many hours in, and still not even close to being done. Because I can't help myself. I have to do missions. I have to do side quests and shit. And I like the grind. I love the grind. I can't lie to myself, but it's all good. I'll get to it. I'll eventually finish it, and we'll go on from there. But right now, I'm going to be jumping in some Astro Chain for you guys this weekend, and I will let you know what I'm doing, what I've done so far in the game. And then the week after that, I will definitely give you guys a fucking review. And then whatever else falls into my lap, we'll be talking about that. I also talked about earlier about the anime and stuff I've been watching and what else I might watch. Death Note is another one I have not seen yet that everybody's telling me, man, put that on your list. Well, it's on my list, but I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. So, I'm getting to them, guys. I'm getting to them. That's going to do it for me. I'm going to get done. I'm going to put the microphone away and stop sipping on this fucking sake, because It's been a long fucking night, guys. I love you. Thank you for listening. This is Studio MacGyver. You have been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.